Tom Petty. I love Tom Petty. What the fuck is even that? How they did the 20 seconds. I don't know what the fuck Sinners is. Uh-oh. Man, YouTube is just like a fucking minefield I gotta get through. Hold on 1 second. I'm like real low, crouching over here. Shit. Gotta pop out that chat. Pop out the chat. Hey, McClunky. Yeah, that's what we're on here for. That prime 6:42 a.m. streaming McClunky. I know. You don't gotta say nothing. These lights are so bright. Yes. So, I need to work on the castle right now. And I've gotten a lot done on the castle. However, I really don't want to work on it right now. I'm kind of... Uh-oh. Here comes that Greep one. It's about to blast off into cyberspace. Maybe. You'll know when it happens. And the whole house starts fucking shaking. The whole house doesn't start shaking, but yeah, no. So today I am going to be finishing scoring bricks in the castle. It has been a long journey, but I can feel you. No, it is. That is just to let you in on the rambling in my brain. I saw a band. Fuck, this would have been 2000. I mean, it's been 20 something years. 20 years ago, I saw a band, and I want to say they were called A Key, but we saw them in this really small little venue, and the only thing I distinctly remember was them grabbing one of my friends while they were talking, but it was a female vocalist, but it was just, I just remember being really fucking spacey, like noise space, and I distinctly just remember, like, when they started their set, they said, "It's been a long journey," but they had this like delay on, so it was like, "It's been a long journey. And they turned around and they touched my friend Derek, and they were like, "I can feel you." And that's been a thing that's been in my head since that moment. And I've laughed about it. It's been a long journey. I can feel you. Because yeah, I can feel you. It's only funny if like they weren't in this realm. Like, then it's like really scary. You're like, oh, okay. What if they were like a traveler, like a time traveler? So playing in that bit, like, I get it. It's just like, I can feel you. It's just like, yeah, they weren't in this realm. I think I just finally got the bit 20 years later. A29. A26. So today we're going to be doing throwing some pasta at the wall and seeing what sticks, because I kind of want to right now. It's either that or roll up some characters for Cyborg, because I'm really vibing that too. It's going to be one of the two, but I'm kind of leaning towards, I kind of want to fuck with this guy some more. So this, just to further the, it is what it is. This is the bin that I was working out of on my Flames of Orion shit. So, fuck it, that's what I'm doing today, right now. Like, for the next hour, I'm going to be building Flames of Orion back. So, I've been... Yeah, there we go. So now Grievelin is blasting off into the stratosphere. So we want the dirty boy pass. I'm a dirty boy, and I get glue and shit everywhere all the time. Not seeing my possum. I hope he is okay. And Eric, and all of my other usual children, I am so sorry about the noise there. So I didn't sort these into a cups, bins like that, because honestly, I pretty much just took a bunch of stuff that I want to use to build, that I've been holding on to for a long time. That I'm like, I don't know if I'm really going to use that otherwise. A good chunk of it, hopefully this is not just the worst fucking noise you've ever heard, but if it is, I'm sorry. I pretty much took a large chunk of bits that I pretty much kind of gave myself the ultimatum of, hey, you've been holding on to these for forever. It's time to use them, or lose them, kind of thing. So these are, I'm going to hold this up for the camera. Mantic. I believe Mantic is the Marauders. I got these shit so long ago. I did not pay for them. I won them in a raffle on the blog Miniature Tim. Miniature Tim, I'm not sure if he is still keeping his blog up, but it would be Tim Tulin, who I've spoken about on here before. Tim Tulin, if you're familiar with him, you're most likely familiar with him from his artwork. He did the art for Adepticon's logo, like for their, I know he did it for 2024s. I'm not sure if he did 2025s. I would assume, you can kind of tell, he has a very stylized kind of aesthetic. But I met Tim in 2005 or 2006. I think it was 2006. I met Tim at the Grand Tournament in Chicago. The Chicago Grand Tournament. Yeah, the Chicago GT. I met him in 2006, the Chicago Grand Tournament. Yeah, man, that's 19 years ago, baby. Yeah, no, so that's where I met Tim. And he is a graphic designer. At the time, he was playing a Black Templar army that he had converted every model in, and that got me really, really pumped. And I think that was probably the first time I had met somebody that had done something like that. So, in a way, almost all of this is Tim Tulin's fault. All of my insane, incessant kit bashing. But that's not entirely true, because I was doing kit bashes and conversions before then. It was sculpting I had not truly started, or just the compulsion to convert every model in my army. That absolutely was something that I got from him. So right now I'm just kind of organizing these. That way I have a little bit better pile to work in. So there are very specific, let me grab these out here when I find them. I definitely had a few things. Man, okay, I definitely should have done anything more than just put these in a fucking like bag, which is what I did. So I am looking for this is how this is me showing you how the sausage is made. And if you're a vegetarian, I don't know why the fuck you're here at all, but if you're not wanting to watch this, I don't blame you. But so this is essentially me just diving into how I do a lot of my design and thought process. So what I'm looking for right now are these. These are some bits that I was working on the other day. Again, I did not put them in a bag. Those are, I think this is a combi bolter. This is a combi bolter. Yeah, that's a combi bolter. A Terminator combi bolter. Chaos Terminator combi bolter. There's a regular bolter. So I had taken, yeah, so another look at one. Pre being shaved and whatnot. So there you go. You've got your combi bolter that I've hacked off the very clear parts. These are going to be our legs. And so the reason that I did this, I wanted to use bits that I've been holding onto for forever, specifically that I know I'm not going to use for something else. The Mantic bits are in here because there's definitely a lot of good little weird, parts that they came with that for one reason or the other I never used for a long time. And this is 100% a Games Workshop like bleed over. I did not want to use any bits, anything that was not a GW bit, like a piece. And that's wild to think about because, like, essentially that absolutely was just me allowing them to, put that into my brain that was what is acceptable when they don't even know. Like, after entering a model into Golden Demon, like, when I put frustration in, they could not tell what was or was not their products. Like, and I'm aware that that's just like two dudes that work at the Golden Demon thing, but that's the thing, is it's just, for as much as it has to be their thing, all this little bits of plastic, like you could shave this into anything and you would never know what was or was not their thing. So that's where I guess my hang up is the ownership of shapes, which they absolutely, IP designs, those kinds of things. But when it comes to just like, oh yeah, that looks like this, but it's not the same thing. If I like it, I should have been using it. That's my simple statement. If you like something, use it. Don't hold back just because it's not from whatever brand or whatever. As long as it works for you. Let me rephrase that also. If it's not actually what you are needing to be using, you're just using it because it's cheaper, evaluate whether or not it actually is worth that, because that is the other biggest part of, I think, how I work. Acknowledging what the best usage of your resources and allotment of things. I could, chisel, shave bits into exactly what I need, or in the time it takes, it might be cheaper, quicker for me to just sculpt it. That is pretty much the biggest part of what I am doing, is trying to decide, or trying to really, like, second nature move with the knowledge that I have of where I need to do what to get things that I'm trying to do done as quick as possible. This absolutely is me killing like 40 to an hour of time, because I absolutely do need a change of pace from that castle, or I'm going to go crazy. This is my art, and it is dangerous. So, yeah, I think I've got these sorted pretty good. Enough to at least fuck around in here. So, I was looking initially at these. This is a Havoc launcher. So, my plan was, and also here's a little body. This is the body that this is the body that I started working on. And it was, again, like I was using a Battletech mech as a reference for height. So I wanted to make sure that they fit in roughly the same kind of vibe. And I was trying to establish, where the legs and whatnot are going to be. So I think I'm probably going to, I don't want to ignore anybody here, but I'm going to pop into this and start just cutting, I think. Yeah, so with this, I'm going to use my saw, which, and I'm also probably going to change the blade on it. No, I'm not. I'm not going to change the blade on it. So, this is one of my favorite saws. You've probably seen them. I found this initially on a scale model website, and then I ordered it. I told my friends the wires about it. So you've probably seen these out there, but the majority of the tools that I have, like my favorite tools, those are not done. But that, as well as my tweezer set. A lot of them came from UMM USA. Comes into these. I am a big fan of these. So these are chisels. These are micro chisels. I use these a lot. I have two different types of chisels. I have two different types of chisels. I have way more types of chisels actually than that. But so these are my UMM chisels, and I do believe that I had another one, but it broke. I think I had a fifth, and it broke. This is 2.53, 2.0, 1. No, 1, 2, 3. I think this is it. Maybe. Could have sworn there was another one. No, it was that one. Okay, so I've got a 1, a 2, a 2.5, and a 3. So these are my chisels. These are, they're great for cutting anything that you don't have access to from like the side. I was mainly just wanting to show this off because they are from UMM USA. They make very good scale model tools. That is where that's initially the only place that I could find this readily available. The reason that I like this saw, and the reason so many other people do, is because it is so insanely thin. Yeah, so being able to cut in between these lines, because that blade is it's extremely thin. Very, very thin. And it's so thin that the blades, they definitely will break. I have not used that side in a hot bit. I've been using the other side, so I have not changed the blade. But when I switch things up and go to the other side, I'm going to have to. Or I'm only going to be able to use part of the blade. Because if you, and I say this out of experience, if you do not change them and you continue to cut with them, if it catches on that plastic, that blade is going to chip. And when it does, it is going to break and it is going to fly off. And that's not me being dramatic. That is me being very fucking honest about what will happen. And just prepare everybody that is involved for the potential, danger to that. That is not safe. And I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it though. So the reason I'm not disposed of this blade is because I am still able to use this side. And this side I know is broken, but the option is to either I could tape it. That's probably what I should do, is tape it. That way I know not to use it, but I can also see it. And I've known that this blade's been broken for a very long time. The whole reason I'm saying this is because, why don't you just clip off that part that's broken? Why don't you try to fix it? I need the rest of this metal. It's a very, very thin metal, but I need that to provide support for this screw. If I break this part, it will not be as supported, and I don't think that it'll work as well. So, with that said, you can kind of see down in, or maybe not, right here. Come on, camera. I know you can do it. You've done it before. Show me your autofocus abilities. So yeah, cutting in between these thin little lines, because what I want is the ones that have the circle in there. Okay. My other scribing tools, chisels are these kinds of chisels, which this is going to be your gunpla. These are going to be for scribing. And I have a large assortment of scribing tools. So with gunpla, and I'll get into that later on if we ever want to, dabble into that. I love Gundam. I love big robots. So hence, as I'm building a little robot, I've got 0.15, 0.5, 0.3, 0.2, and then 1 millimeter chisel for my Gundam Saga. That is for doing panel lining. Panel lining, cutting the little lines in. I love panel lining, so fucking cool. Okay, so what am I doing now? I'm going to find where my knife went. There it is. A knife. This is dirty. I'm going to change that blade. As we slowly find out that all of my blades are dirty and I'm just a trash person. And no one is surprised. Okay, so I want those circles. Give them to me. So, 1. To clarify what I just did, I sawed very cleanly through those little holes, and then I am now using my X-Acto knife to finish up the job, if that makes sense. The blade is just fitting into the spot that we made with the saw. So now I've got that. I'm going to just clean up this little circle spot. We're probably going to cut that one again. So now we've got the 3 of them right there. I might zoom in further, so that way you guys can see, because I am going to be working specifically right in this area. So, I am not, and I could absolutely go and, fuck it, I'm going to, I don't want it to break. Put too much time into it. A little bit of saw. A little bit of saw never hurt nobody. Well, that's not true at all. A little bit of saw. Eric, look at Mr. Bean voice. Look at all these guns. Look at all those guns. Look at all those guns. Mr. Bean. I'm trying to think of what Mr. Bean sounds like. I don't know if I've listened to Mr. Bean talk in a long time. Just the Mr. Bean narrating my life. It's very funny because, again, I'm trying to remember what he sounds like, which is part of the horrifying lore of my children, Theodore. The idea that if given a wish, like a genie wish, so that's a very big thing. Eric already knows this because he worked with me. That's a kind of a horrifying thing to think about. Oh yeah, no, Eric already knows about this insane thing that I'm about to tell you because I told him in our professional work lives about the crazy shit that I think about and I laugh at all the time. But yeah, no, genie wishes are something that I very much like genie wishes. It was one of the rare things he says. It was in the Christmas episode when his girlfriend gives him a model pirate ship for Christmas. Look at all those guns. Oh! I think I know his voice. I think that did it for me. I think look at all those guns. Because it's kind of like this, right? It's kind of like he's kind of like he's a real weirdo. If I'm remembering correctly, he's a real weirdo. Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. Look at all those guns. Okay, good. Yeah, okay. I was thinking, like, when I think of Mr. Bean, the first thing I think of is Rat Race, which I know is not like Mr. Bean proper. What am I doing here? This is not even the hole that I'm looking for. I'm looking for these guys. Hey, big tough guys. Hey, big tough guys. What's the big idea? Oh man, so I was on my mini factory last night, and I was looking at the old Knucklebone minis, their store, and I love Curtis and Knucklebone minis. I have so many things right now that like I don't have time to. I feel like all of their models are excellent. If you are wanting to, that blade is fucking bent already. How did that happen? They are absolutely excellent if you are wanting to print something and paint it. That was dumb of me to do, but I did a really good job of just straightening that blade out with those pliers real quick. Like, that's really straight now. I'm not bragging about my bad life choices. I'm just saying I can do it. So, yeah, what was I getting at with Mr. Bean? Nothing. What was I talking about before Mr. Bean? Rat Race. Before Rat Race. Ruh-roh. Yeah. Shit, I don't know, Eric. I got way too lost in the sauce. There was way too many disconnects in there for my brain to keep track of. I think of Rat Race because I watched Rat Race whenever I had my appendix out. I got to have that done whenever they still did all the cool, like, big scars and staples and stuff. So, like, despite there being a very small time difference between, like, when I had the surgery and when, like, my wife had the surgery, I have a gnarly scar that's, like, 5 times the size of hers with, like, staple wounds. And she has this little, like, beep. And I'm like, man, that's cool. But that's what I think of when I think of Mr. Bean. I think of when I had appendicitis and I was in the hospital, and Rat Race was recently out. To give you an idea, it makes me think about my grandmother on my father's side while I was in the hospital recovering knuckle bones. Is the minis maker that I was talking about that uses Adobe Medium Virtual Reality? Okay, so yeah, that's Curtis. So I've spoken with him quite a bit on like Discord and stuff. He has commented a lot on the interviews that I did about the Vestarian models that I made, and I think my work had a pretty big impact on him. But I've not subscribed to their tribe, and that's only because I want to support them, of course. I'm only subscribed to like 2 tribes currently, and that's like Bastarium and now Unit 9, which I have not talked about them, but I will. I will talk about Unit 9 as soon as I can remember. Knucklebones minis, all of their models are great if you want to print out a model and paint it and play a game. I love their design and their aesthetic. It is so hard for me to just do that, though. Like, it is a compulsion. Like, I'm very aware that it's just difficult for me to put a model together and just paint it. Like, I can't really do it. Other than the ones that I've put together, like I've thrown together for like 1490 that I just straight up printed. And even then, it's just like, I kind of want to do something to them. It just feels wrong. It feels wrong not doing it. And that's just because that has been my like MO for so long. But I feel like cutting up and like changing anything with any of Curtis's like sculpts, I feel like the moment that I do that, it like defeats the purpose of it, because it is a very different, his sculpts are very different than, say, the stuff from like Bastarium. Like, they are not, they're just so much more characterful, if that makes sense. Like, whimsy is in there. It has nothing to do with it's style. It's style, not, it's the stylistic difference, not like quality. Like, it absolutely is not that. It's just, yeah, it's the stylized type of models that Knucklebones makes. I was looking at their again I was, and I probably will. I was about to pick up the 1490 Doom models that they made, and then I was like, well, you need to calm down, just because I get into the habit and I start just buying things. Oh boy. So my whole point of what I was doing with this was these were going to be like hard points for like arms. I really like the idea of that. So one of these guys only has like a single arm. And part of me really likes it being this one. Like, I kind of want to make, I'm using super glue because I'm a trash boy. We all know that. But no, I was looking at Knucklebones last night. They have quite a few models that I was just like, man, I need to make sure that I've got that in a game. There is a specific sorcerer model they have. And I'm probably still going to pick it up, just even though I don't need to print things just to paint them. I love that model though. It's so fucking sick. I'm gonna be distracted really quick, and I'm gonna go look it up right now. That way I can tell you what it is. So if you're like, man, I want to pick up a cool model for $5 today on my mini factory, this would be my pick. It is shit. Ramshackle. A-C-K-L-E. Ramshackle. I'm fucking up. I'm not going to be able to get it. Where is it? Nope. Okay, well, I fucked up. So, Knucklebones. Why am I saying Ramshackle? Knucklebones. Wait. Am I talking about the same person? Or am I just... No, I think I am. Wait a minute. No. I don't think Ramshackle Curtis. Ramshackle. Which one does Curtis do? Well, now I'm confused. This is definitely whoever I was talking about. Man. Okay. Anywho, yeah, Knucklebones. But yeah, because they made the Toot shrine, and the Tooters, all the guys for Vestirian with bull horns. So there is a model that I fucking love, and I'm gonna find it, and I'm probably going to buy it, and I'm just gonna print it and paint it, and it's gonna be used in something because it's so fucking rad. What is it called? It is a Chaos Sorcerer. Yeah, the Knight of the Undercroft is also so sick. And they're Underminers. Yeah, no, there's so many. Brewsters are real good. Where is it? Sorry. I'm going to find it. Yeah, the Snake Staff Chaos Sorcerer, that was one of the ones that Scout the Beastman Mutant. That's it. So, Scout the Beastman Mutant. That is probably my favorite Knucklebones mini. I absolutely love that, and I'm going to pull up my phone so you can see it here. Where the fuck is my phone? There it is. So, I'm going to show it on here because I don't have any way to do that on my computer, but... the fuck? Okay, well, I am going to check that. Let's see how much. Oh boy. Oh yeah, my whopping total, my big Instagram money just came in. 1 penny. I think I got 2 pennies like a month ago. I haven't been fucking with Instagram since like Adepticon. SKOAT. The Beastman. So, stay in browser. Fucking shit. Yeah. So this guy. Let me make sure you all can see. Yeah, you definitely can. Okay. So yeah, this guy gets me so fucking pumped. That head is so, so sick. It is a human head that is like, it's very clear that like his skull turned into this whatever shape this is, and is like, it's just kind of like happened, and like the head is like a glove. It's just, yeah, that is a level of like, what the fuck, that like even caught me off guard, which I tip my hat to you, sir. Very, very well done. I really, really liked that. That's one of like the most grisly like mutations that like I've seen, and I think the style of Knucklebones minis like really, I don't know. I don't know if it makes it like worse, and by worse I mean like better. Like, I don't know. It's such a, I don't have, I don't use single pose minis often. That's, I think that is the biggest. Yeah, I don't use single pose minis often, except for, you know, bases of whatever I'm cutting. What the fuck, Chef's Kiss? Hello. Yeah. What the fuck? It's just, yeah. I love a good what the fuck is even that, and that. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen a model where someone made one that I was like, wait, what the fuck? But that, the head, I really liked that. It definitely, it's that kind of, I guess, thinking outside the box, that like, that is like when I'm thinking about, man, I want to make like a book of like RPG stuff, and using plants and like things that I've learned from like gardening, using that as the basis of like what the things are based off of. And that seems like, oh, you know, that's not that cool, not that different. When you start to apply concepts that are solely for things that don't have bones and blood and skin to things that do, it gets really fucking awful really, really, really quick. Even just like basic parts of like, the beak head coming out kind of has a Momo look. A Momo. Is Momo a reference to the Dark Crystal? Or, because when I think of Momo, the first thing I think of, well, I think of two things. I bumped that. That was me. Man, I've made a big old mess here, Eric. I'm assuming it's Dark Crystal. I had only just seen the Dark Crystal, like, I think we actually, it might have even been post, like, Adepticon. Like, I had not seen the Dark Crystal until I was 27 years old. 37 years old. I just lost a decade there. Fuck me. I'm old. Momo was that meme photo that freaked everyone out. Kind of a woman that looked like a scary bird. That, okay. Kinda. I know what you're saying now. Yes. So when I think of Momo, I think of, number one, I think of Momo from The Last Airbender, Avatar, Last Airbender, Avatar, Last Airbender. And then I think of Adventure Time, Momo. You're the Momo. It's a derogatory term that they use for each other that is never explained. But Momo. And it clearly, I don't know what it could mean, because the cast of people that use it, oh god, I saw the Dark Crystal when I was 4 and I've never been the same since. So that absolutely, I realized, was a movie that I was supposed to have watched as a child, because I don't know, maybe I would have been a lot cooler. Instead, like, I saw a bunch of stuff. I saw a bunch of other stuff, but like I was missing some key points there that I think, having seen the Dark Crystal, I would have been a lot cooler. Or not cool. It would have been really cool or really not cool. Like, oh yeah, he's a fucking weirdo, but not in the cool way. Like, not the fun way. I like to try to stay in the, he's a weirdo, but like in a fun way. That's really kind of where I try to thread the needle of life. So I've done a whole lot of talking and a whole lot of rambling. Talked about Momos. I talked about that awesome sculpt from Knucklebones. Yeah, I'm just, some days you wake up and you're like, I really want to build a mech or some cyberpunk dudes, and like, I can justify building a little mech because I started to work on that the other day. Cyberpunk, I can't really justify that. That's a slippery slope that I'm really trying to keep myself out of for right now because I have to. I cannot go down there right now. Those are absolutely going to get used. These are from the container. All the containers that I got. Man, okay. So I know that I want to use these as legs. Like, they're probably going to be the knees. Like, those are going to be the knees. That's a shin. So, like, kind of like that. That kind of a thing. We're going to probably do some pinning to put those legs in there. Actually, we're not. I'm going to go grab a Battletech guy real quick for scale. For scale. Oh my goodness. I didn't know you were down here. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. I had no idea my son was down here. He's sitting in the brooding chair, brooding in the dark. It's great because, like, from here, I can't really see him. I can only see his eyes. So he's really brooding. It's just like, grrr. Something like that. All right. Man, oh man. I don't really need it out, but I just love a mad cat. It's a mad cat, not a timber wolf. I'll never call it that. Even if it's wrong. I do like that I like the origin of, like, oh, it's called two different things because of, like, misreading of their systems. But I like cats. I like wolves too, but I'm way more of a cat guy. Okay, so we need a square piece. So the whole thing that I was doing with this was essentially trying to recreate some of these shapes. Here's a very good example, I think. Well, hold on now. That's crazy. Gotta zoom in just a little bit. What a time, my Damie. Okay. See, kind of roughly the same kind of blocky shape. So we're going to kind of cut up a little bit. Needs a little square to go up into there. So I don't really want to just start taking things that I might use, but things that I'm not going to use, I definitely am okay with using. Like these old bolters. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take a bolter. I'm going to clip off the top. The sight, actually. So here's the knee. We need it to go right about there. So the back part of the bolter is where it's going to be clipped. Right there. Yeah. 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 Okay. And then I'm thinking I want a little bit of that right there, maybe. Let's see. Maybe there. Uh-huh. Yep. I'm thinking that. So, clipped off the back there. All right. I'm also going to clip off the top. Yeah. That needs to go. Just the triangle point of the sight of the iron sight. Okay, so that, and we're going to absolutely remove that. We just want this shape. I am absolutely like, I'm rendering this down to its most basic square block shapes, which I realize that that may not seem awesome if we're trying to get the most bang for our buck, but I have a lot of plastic, and at this point I've acknowledged that I'm never going to use this shitty bolter bit, specifically because it is, I'm trying to think of how long, all of the bolters that I like kind of dug out of here have been ones that were part of a project or something that I was messing with over a decade ago. I'm very clearly not going to do the thing. I don't even remember what the thing was that I was working on. So at this point, the plastic is absolutely better served for what the hell else I'm doing with it. What the hell is even that? So these are, I think, probably from, I mean, these are absolutely 20-something-year-old pieces of plastic bolter, little plastic bolters, from whenever the 3.5 Chaos Space Marine Codex came out in 2005, maybe 2004, 2005. It's been 20 years. They aren't going to get used. Not only that, like at this point, if I was going to use a bolter, I just have so many other bolters that I would use as opposed to this. And that, so I'm trying to think of the best way to explain. I think Smash Bash and just trying to get away from the mindset of I need to use this bit because they tell me, or these pieces of plastics because they are branded by this company. Once I like escaped that, I think that is when I really started to be able to like make things that I wanted to make and was actually just like happy. Felt free. I guess it's freeing. It's freeing, removing limitations from yourself that you don't need. Okay, so I'm actually pretty happy with how that looks. That looks pretty good. So I don't want it to be entirely blocky, so I'm going to probably do a 45 cut, like right about there. Yeah, that looks good. And it's not completely accurate, like I'm still kind of loose, but I'd say that's probably a 45. Looks pretty close. Yeah, we're gonna put, yeah, and the reason, so I didn't explain that. This is a combi bolter. Combi bolter is made out of 2 bolters slapped side by side, lower wise. I took a single bolter. That is going to be our thigh. Sorry, I'm a little too high. Up here. There we go. And it is a smidgen taller than we want it, but that's okay. So, and then we're going to pretty much come over here, do the same thing. I want to try and make sure that I'm making these. I'm not going to do, I really want this to be kind of like a loose, quick kind of kit bash. So I'm not going to get too crazy. With making everything perfectly symmetrical. Also, I kind of want to make them look like they've been through the shit. So, okay, got the little 45 cut. So I'm thinking from there, yeah, that's gonna be good. Thinking from there, want it to meet up into there. When he stands up straight, probably be like that. So this needs to go further out. We need to cut that a little bit more in, I think. That technically wouldn't be able to bend its knee. Battle tech. You do you, though. I want my guys to be able to bend their knees. I used to be an adventurer like you until I took an axe to the knee. I didn't take an axe to the knee, I took an axe to the shin. And I put it there. It sucked. I was an adventurer. I did shortly get married after, which is also what the whole bit was. Alrighty. Wadata, my damie. Sarate. I hope Possum is okay. We've not seen him in a bit. But I know also the long trek home. Yeah, that's gonna be good. I'm feeling good about this. That's the sound it makes. The big boot. Big boot. Biggest boot. $6:40 in the morning. Jet lag blues, baby. He's got the jet lag blues. I really like that. I feel like it's kind of. I don't think that Atri had planned on going, but I very much like that they were there. It's just like, oh man, small world, helping friends meet other friends, and that made me really happy. Seeing Atri posts, it's just like, I don't know how close this is, but you got to go to the Rotten Demon. It's just like, I was planning on it. I was supposed to go, but did not work out. But yeah, that was very exciting. I always like seeing people getting involved and meeting other people because I recommend things. But I don't want to put too much of that on me. Maybe they already were looking at stuff like that. Holy Fire Them, I know, is also big into the 28 scene, and they're friends with Holy Fire Them. Yeah, okay, I'm thinking just 245s here. And I'm saying 45s, like it's close. It's a close. I got the jet lag blues. Bum, bum. Yeah. Yeah. So, something like that into something like there. And then, bam, you got a bolter for a leg. You got a bolter for the bottom part of your leg. When Kelly and I first started dating, actually, it's not when we first started dating. I don't remember what point. Kelly wanted to build a model. We were talking about building models, and she was like, can I build a model that's all heads? And I was just like, yeah, a bucket of bolters. Bucket of bolters, hell yeah. I came up with the name Nejare Rex, I think is going to be, it's N-E-I-A with like the accent over it, R-E. Which is the romanticized Latin pronunciation of to piss, I believe, like the adjective of like pissing, and then Rex is king, like, but there's a bunch of different ways of saying piss apparently in Latin. That is where, piss comes from. But there were a bunch of different ways that I looked into it. So Audacity, I looked into that too, because I was trying to figure out if I wanted the word conjunction that I'm trying to come up with as far as king piss. King piss doesn't sound very like what would be on the cover of like a tome, a dusty tome. If it just, you pulled out like a book from like a necromancer's like hideout and it just literally said king piss, you'd probably be like, I need to put it back. Careful using Latin names for miniatures, LOL. Yeah, what were we? Why? Why? Uh, but yeah, this was I was thinking about using it for I really want to start trying to come up with, it would be almost like world building, but a book, the Book of Piss, essentially, like an equivalent to the Hand of Gob or the Book of Gob, but based on the deity that like I've kind of made up. I'm very excited about that, but it's, be careful. Yeah. So pretty much I was looking at medieval Latin. Audacitas, which is boldness, daring, or courage, comes from audax, A-U-D-A-X, like Legio Audax. GW might claim your IPL. Ah, you're very right. I don't think they're going to take King Piss, but they might. They might, and they might make it like Nurgle or something. But yeah, it is a not the normal like Latin pronunciation of piss, but it's like a romanticized, which I thought was even better. But I was really trying to find a. I'm a big fan of. I'm trying to remember his name, but the director of Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, the new one Lazarus. But Samurai Champloo is like the best example of it, and I mean Bebop is too, but Champloo is the most, especially because Champloo itself, that word is not a word; it is a hybridized word that means remix. So it is the show is a remix of the concept of the samurai period, but like it's remixed, and even the name, like it's so. I use the phrase meta, but it's just, it is a work of art, like that is so self-aware, and it's like so embedded in itself, like what it is. It is a remix of an entire genre, including even the fucking name, and I love that. And that's kind of where I was wanting to go with. I was trying to find a hybridized form of piss from Latin and audacity, because really that's when I talk about like, oh, I'm king fucking piss. It's not. It has nothing to do with urine. And that's like trying to find like, oh, I need to take a piss, like in Latin. It's not I need to pee. Urine is not king piss. Like I'm king fucking piss, or this entity king piss is not the god of urine. Like it's not that kind of piss. It's like the closest thing would be audacious. It is the king of. I guess yeah, audacity is the closest thing I can think of. But Mijare Rex, Mijare. Yeah, it'd be romanticized Latin for king piss. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that would look pretty cool on a tome in gold, like gilded letters, like a black dusty tome. You're like, what the fuck is even this? Uh-oh, shouldn't have opened it. I read the book. Now I can't sleep. On that note, man, time flew by when we just started like dumping a bunch of shit all over the table. But I will say that I think I've got some kind of progress made. I've got some legs going here that I'm happy with. And he's got some arm holes now. So, no, we made some progress this morning. Steve, I'm making models for your game. Be excited. It's 7:41. Thank you so much for watching. Eric, thank you for hanging out and chatting with me. Chef's kiss. So, yeah, I think that's it. I'm still, you know the drill, everybody. I'm waking up. I'm gonna clean up this mess, and I'm gonna finish scoring the castle today. I'm doing it. We're almost done. I've worked so fucking hard on it. We're almost there. And then we are on to detailing, like hyper detailing and texturing, like actually getting the thing ready to be painted. But I'm gonna go make coffee. Thank you all so much for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Keep me company. Have a great day. Thank you so much for your time.
Sit pretty.